Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Tight Cycling. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm planning on doing a recovery / warm-up ride on the Eastern 8 in Watopia. As you can see here, the other two worlds available is Mercury Island and New York, but we finished all of the rides on those. So we'll go to Eastern 8 and we'll start this ride. As you could see, it was like some 51 or so kilometers, some 400 meters vertical, and yeah, it should probably take us around 2 hours, I would think. Trying to be roughly at about 130 watts, which is 1.7 watts per kilo or so. And yeah, that's pretty much it. No hidden agenda here, other than getting out, getting to do some biking, shaking the legs, and yeah, actually warm up a little bit, because tonight I'm planning on doing either a TT, that is on the Titans Grove, which looks brutal. It's like 9K, and you have to go up this climb twice. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure if I'm ready for this. It will take about 20 minutes, hopefully less, but around that time. And the alternative is to do again Team Electric Spirit, yeah, short race, which is today on Champs-Élysées, 9 or 10 kilometers long, very flat, which I really like. But yeah, the days are ticking off this week, and I really would like to put a time down for that TT, because it's a series that goes, I think, 4 or 5 weeks. And yeah, the longer I put this off, the weirder it's gonna be to finally do this TT. And on the weekend, I have planned, at least on Saturday or Sunday, to do a long ride again with the Cycle Nation. So that day is probably not a good idea to do a TT as well. Probably don't have enough power for that. And the earlier we do the TT, we can then still decide to repeat the effort if we see that the time was just no good. It's another reason as to why today would actually be a good day to do that. Anyhow, so for now we are on the Eastern 8. Yeah, as I said, 51K, 400 vertical meters. And let's just do the same thing as I've been doing for the last couple of videos. I will just shut up and let you enjoy this ride along, for now, the desert. And then at some point, I'm sure there's going to be some climbing. Any big changes, I will let you know. I will slow down the video and chat with you. But for now, let's just enjoy the ride, and yeah, I'll talk to you in a bit. Okay, so we are 10 minutes in and 5 kilometers. And yeah, we are properly warmed up. Maybe not the muscles yet, but as you can tell, we started sweating. That's a good sign. And heart rate is still in zone 1, actually in the middle of zone 1, which is great. As for the average power, we are slowly approaching 1.7 watts per kilo. And yeah, hopefully we can stay there. Haven't quite looked at how much time it will take for us to do this route with 400 vertical meters. Not quite sure what our average speed is going to be, but yeah, hopefully we'll be done within 2 hours, so that I have enough time to go over to the pens for either of those races and potentially swap bikes. So for the city and score, it seems like maybe the crux, specialized crux, is maybe the best option instead of a TT bike, because there's a lot of gravel, more than 50%, and yeah, the one climb, the longer one, apparently is on gravel, and the speed difference is quite significant. So I might try to do the ride on a gravel bike. So we'll see. Anyway, so for now, again, we are warmed up. 6.5K in, 13 minutes, 45K to go. Let's do this. So let's enjoy the next section here. And again, if something else happens, I will speed up again. Okay, so now we're actually heading right towards Titans Grove, which is a very nice section. Hilly, up and down. Really love this part. In races, though, you got to be very careful not to lose contact to the group, because in this like rolling terrain, it's very easy for you to lose your group. And then it's very, very tough to catch up with them again, unless you put in a very deep dig. So yeah, but this part really reminds me of, like rolling hills, mountain biking, up and down, switchbacks. Yeah, really love it. All right, on we go. All right, I actually missed the start of the Titans Grove KOM. 2.6K, 2.5 or 2.2%. Yeah, sorry, I just didn't pay close attention. But yeah, it actually continues with this rolling terrain Of course, on average, we are going up. But if I'm not mistaken, there are actually parts where we will go downhill as well, like this one. Anyways, we'll just continue to pedal our own speed. By the way, we are still below zone 2. Have 127 watts on average. And I'll get back to you as soon as we are a little bit closer to the top of the KOM. So half of the KOM we have done. Another 1.2K. And yeah. And we'll see where else this route will take us. So we are approaching the KOM, and yeah, then there's a little downhill section, and then we'll see where we turn when we get down. But yeah, 8 minutes 16 for the KOM. Definitely not a good time, but for doing essentially 1.7 watts per kilo, which is what our average is now, I think that's perfectly fine. Still trying to preserve some energy and just take this as a, batch hunting, but also warm-up session, a very long warm-up session for potentially one race. So let's just enjoy this descent, and I'll get back to you when there's anything else to report. So enjoy the downhill. Okay, well guys, we pretty much finished Titans Grove, and now we're heading left towards Oceans Blvd. Also, we just finished a third of the ride distance-wise, and vertical meters-wise we actually did a little bit more. So this should give us a rough indication of where we'll come out for this ride. So let's just say 37 times 311 should be just be an hour 51 minutes or so. So if it is below 2 hours, that would be great, because that would allow me to rest a little before the race, I mean. So yeah, let's just carry on towards Oceans Blvd, and I'll get back to you if anything changes or if something noteworthy happens. So see you in a bit. Okay, so we are approaching the halfway point, and as you can see, here's another sprint. Again, we are not contesting this. This one is actually on Fuego Flats or Tempest Fugit, which is the one that I ride pretty much every Saturday with the Cycle Nation. So I know this area quite well. But yeah, today no sprinting. Happy to just make it through the ride and come out the other end without being too done to do a race. Anyhow, so we actually started here in the desert, went out and went through the slightly hillier bits, went into Titans Grove, which I really enjoy. But just a word of advice, if you're in a race or with the robo pacer, it happened to me more than once that I lost my group in those wiggly bits, because they go up and down, I think even plus minus 8%. And it's very easy to lose contact, either to ride off in the front or to fall out of the back. And either one is bad when you're with a robo pacer, because you need to stay near to them in order to get those drops or to get the multiplier. And it happened to me, I want to say more than twice even, that I lost the robo pacer just at the point when I was at 2.5x. Then I had to start again from 1.0. Anyways, that's just a small little word of advice. Okay, so now we are essentially a couple of 100 meters and we are at the halfway point, and so far we've been riding for 55 minutes, which makes me still hopeful to finish this ride in under 2 hours. And yeah, then change a shirt, get something to drink, dry off, and then get back on the bike for the race. Still haven't quite decided yet which one to go for, so I'll probably check how many people signed up for either one and then make a decision a little bit later. So for now, just continue to enjoy this ride, and at whatever next spot, sprint, KOM, or deviation from the main road, I will slow down again and discuss where we are and what we'll do. So speak to you in a bit. And we are back just in time to finish the Fuego Flats reverse. 250 meters left. And coincidentally, we have done 60% of the total of the total ride, which is also nice. So let's see if we get a nice power up. Yeah, so far we have done about half of the climbing. So there's some more climbing to come, for which the feather is going to be perfect. So let's hope the climbing is going to come soon. Then we can use the feather right away and hopefully pick up something else on the top of the climb. As for the power, yeah, we are still just about 1.7 watts per kilo at the bottom of zone 2 now, probably for the last like 20 minutes or so. But yeah, at the very bottom. Anyhow, so let's just continue with this ride, and if something else happens, I'll slow it down again. See you in a bit. So here we are yet again at Titans Grove. And yeah, we just came back from the desert, turned left into Titans Grove. This is probably where we pick up the remaining 200 vertical meters. And yeah, now we are climbing it in reverse. I'm not quite sure which side is harder to climb. I want to say it's this one. From the descent, it looked like this had more rolling terrain or harder terrain to climb up to. But as long as we keep the power constant, and we do, it shouldn't really matter. All right, so let's just do this now, and the actual KOM will start in a bit, and I will slow down before the KOM starts. All right, let's do this. Okay, so we start the Titans Grove KOM reverse, and yeah, you can see that must have sprinted that the last time, simply because it is less than 1K. Today, no. And it just so happens that in half a kilometer, so when we're just about to reach the top of this KOM, we will be 80% down and 20 to go. So let's just enjoy this ascent, and I'll talk to you once we hit the KOM. So here we are, just 60 meters away from the KOM, from the Titans Grove KOM reverse that is. And yeah, we still managed to stay zone 2. We're still at the bottom of zone 2 actually, which is quite surprising, given that I sweat a lot and I probably look like I've been in zone 4 for the last 1.5 hours. Anyhow, still average power 1.7 watts per kilo, 130 watts. So yeah, doing all right. And now actually marks the last 20%. And yeah, so if we divide the time that we have so far, like let's say 85.5 minutes, let's just round it down, 84. So 84 divided by 4 is 21 times 5 is 105, which means we should be done in 1 hour 45. So 20 minutes to go, give or take. Of course, that's like a back of the envelope calculation, but I'm actually quite confident now that we will finish in like sub 150. All right, we picked up an arrow. That's also nice. So let's just descend here and see where it takes us for the last 12K. And I'll get back to you once something happens. Talk to you in a bit. So welcome back. So here we are again in this beautiful underwater world, and less than 6K to go. You probably just saw a whole bunch of riders from the team Dirt passing us by. They seem to have been on like some sort of training ride or race. So yeah, very nice. That's one of the things that I also envision to have in the future for tight cycling. So we'll see how things develop, but what is in the making is jersey and bibs. So I will of course let you know as soon as I got some samples, but that's one of the benefits of living in China, that these things are quite easy to get and even at like very good quality and not anywhere near as expensive as it would be in Europe or in the US. Yeah, so this is probably also a good time to tell you that I of course appreciate if you feel like you could leave a like under the video, maybe even get yourself to subscribe to the channel. It does really help and makes it easier for me to put some more content out there. So far I have received some positive feedback, And I'm not counting family and friends, because of course they're not going to tell you, oh, this is bad. But like from strangers. And yeah, so there are lots of people out there who record their sessions or even live stream them. One guy who makes like really nice videos is Nathan from OTR on the Rivet. He has very nice streams that he does when he's racing with different viewing angles, and yeah, he seems like a really nice guy, so I highly encourage you to check him out. Tell him I say hi, and before you head over there, maybe hit that button and make it a little bit easier for me to put out new content. All right, so that was all I had. So let's just continue here for the next 4K, and then I will slow down again before we go through the banner and hopefully unlock the route badge and the associated XP points. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, we are in the last kilometer and it's time to recap the session. So we started in the desert and end in the desert, but we went in between. We went out to Titans Grove, did it in both directions, which was very nice. And I think for race purposes, this also offers the best chance for you to get away from a group. But it's also the point where you have to pay the most attention if you're struggling to stay within the group. So I highly recommend doing the Titans Grove a couple of times, just so you know exactly where, which turns, how steep it's going to be after a turn and so forth. Other than that, it's relatively flat. Again, except for the 2 KOMs in Titans Grove and the descent on either side that is very up and down, very flowy, very nice to ride, but again, very tricky if you try to maintain contact to a group. Very nice route though. Probably will do that a couple of times once I have all the other routes unlocked, because it's a very nice distance, 51.5K, 400 vertical meters. So let's just see if we unlock the route badge. We do, and with it 1345 XP. Fantastic. So that brings us halfway through level 30, so close to get to level 31, and hopefully before the end of the year level 50. Speaking of XP points, I just read that in March Zwift is gonna have like a 1 month new series that awards double XP points, and all the power-ups are lasting twice as long. So that might be very interesting. And if you're getting onto those rides, then yeah, you can actually earn twice the amount of XP points compared to other rides. Anyways, so this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gives you some idea of how the ride or how the route is structured. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. And we rate this probably a 4 out of 10 on the tight scale, just because it was a little bit longer. But we have maintained HR zone 2 for all of the ride, except for the beginning, the warm-up, where we were in zone 1. But yeah, so as always, remember, ride hard, have fun, tight. So tight cycling out, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care for now. Bye bye.